You know, always. Yeah, I did.
All right, we're going to try to get started, so if you guys can all take a seat, I'd appreciate it. Such a polite, responsive crowd. It's so nice. Well, welcome everybody. I appreciate you all for coming. My name is Glenn Perham, and I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of Encinitas, and I'll kind of be your tour guide today. So welcome to the next phase of Pacific View. I'm going to give a background in a little bit, just for those of you who may not have been following this process the whole way, just so we're kind of all on the same page. So that's my intent. A few housekeeping things before we start. For those of you who haven't been to a council meeting, the restrooms are right out that door back there. Go down the hall to the left. There's restrooms and a water fountain back there. And we're going to try to wrap everything up by 12 o'clock. So I think that's enough time, but we'll see. Some of you may be welcome to keep one of the rooms. I'm not sure the availability of the rooms later on, but if there's some conversations you're still wrapped up into, we'll do the best that we can to accommodate you all. So let's just jump into a little bit of background. So the slides that you're seeing don't accompany what I'm saying. This is just some things for your viewing pleasure. So as you all know, the city purchased the Pacific View site. It's a 2.8 acre site, and it houses the historic Pacific View School, as well as the old historic schoolhouse. It's on the property. It's outside the fence line, but it's on the same property. The council also established a council subcommittee that consists of council members Kranz and Schaefer. And they identified the need for interim uses. They realized that the long-term development of the site is probably many years off. Funding is a big reason, but they don't want the site to sit vacant any longer than it already has. So they want to come up with some interim uses, and that's part of the reason why we're here today. The council, in conjunction with the subcommittee, developed a vision for the site, and I'll read it for you. Basically, they want to develop a facility for arts, education, and community gathering places with an emphasis on theaters, museums, education, outdoor sales and swap meets, and park and recreation space. So that's kind of what they're shooting for. And to move forward, they established two separate tracks. So one of the things they wanted to do was to look at the existing facilities and find out what needed to be done with the existing facilities to make them safe and habitable. And on the other track, they wanted to figure out how to move forward with occupying that space and putting it to a beneficial use. So on the first side, on the evaluation of the existing structures, what we did is we developed a request for proposals for architectural services, and we issued that out, and we received proposals. And what we wanted to get was a preliminary design report and also cost estimate for plans and cost estimate for the vision that this architect would have for it. On April 8th, we selected the firm of Westberg and White. So they are the architect helping the city to get a safe and habitable facility. The Westberg and White finished their 50% preliminary design report, and it was presented at a council subcommittee meeting on June 29th. The final report is due the first week of August, so that's coming up pretty close. And in about 2 weeks, the final report is done. They're about done with their 90% plans, but to get to the 100% preliminary design report would be another couple of weeks. And the exhibits are on display. Some of what you see on the screen here and on the back windows, that we'll close those if you want. You can take a look at all of them in a paper format. That's what you see displayed right there. So that was to get the existing facility in shape. That's where we're heading on that. So on the other hand, we're trying to figure out these interim operations. How do we want to occupy the space moving forward? So what we're trying to do is seek proposals for the use consistent with the council's expressed vision. That's what we're trying to do right now. So on July 10th, we issued a solicitation for letters of interest for any potential operating partners to let them know what was the process moving forward. And in that July 10th letter, it established a couple of dates. One was July 20th, which is today, which is an optional meeting to come in. We're calling it a collaboration workshop. The other date it established is August 3rd, which is 2 weeks from today. And that's when you have to, if you're a prospective operating partner and want to submit a letter of interest, you have to submit it by that date. So that's what the subcommittee and the council agreed upon, that it is a mandatory date to submit your letter of interest. At the recent council meeting on July 15th, just last week, the City Council did approve funding and gave authorization to staff to go ahead and hire a consultant to help us in the selection process if need be. So if we get multiple letters of interest on August 3rd, and we think it's more in-depth than staff is able to go into, we have the ability to go get a consultant firm to help us with that selection. If staff can do the selection of the consultant by themselves, we may still go out and get some consultant services to help us negotiate some kind of an agreement. Because whoever we get on board as an operating partner, there needs to be some agreement between the city and the operating partner as to what the roles and responsibilities are between both parties. And that's a skill set that the city staff just doesn't have. We've never done a Pacific View type property, so we want to make sure that we do it right. The city spent $10 million on the property, so that's quite an investment. And whoever the operating partner is, they're likely to make a considerable investment too. And we just want to make sure that we cover all the bases moving forward on that. So the purpose of today's meeting is really two main purposes. One is kind of a selfish perspective from the city. We want to be able to gauge the interest from prospective operating partners. So right now, we don't know, is there going to be one or are there going to be 10? If there's only one, then that makes the selection pretty easy. If there's 10, it's a little more difficult. So one of the things we want to do, and we'll be doing it in about a minute now, is to give prospective operating partners an opportunity, 3 to 5 minutes, to come up and make a pitch for their proposal. One per operating partner. So if you're an operating partner that has 10 people representing the group, I don't want 10 representatives from the same operating partner tagging together 3 to 5 minutes. That's not the intent today. It's just a broad overview of what your proposed plan is, and then we're going to be going into breakout sessions if there's enough operating partners, and that'll be the opportunity to, I'll call it, the mingling part. We'll get into that in a little bit. Well, I'll get into it right now because it's actually the next bullet. So the primary reason is to provide a forum for those prospective operating partners and the tenants to get together and kind of talk and form partnerships. I use the word tenant, and I think we need a better term because I don't know what it is. So the operating partner is going to be responsible for overseeing the whole site, but the site is probably going to be subdivided into smaller, I'll call them rooms, and you may get different tenants in each room. And each of those tenants may have multiple, I'll call them service providers. So for example, if you're an artist, or if you're somebody who wants to run an art program, you may rent one of the spaces and you may be considered a tenant, but you may have 5 or 6 artists that assist you in providing those services. So when I use the term tenant, I use it broadly. It doesn't mean you're going to be somebody that necessarily signs a lease, but you're going to be somebody that's working in conjunction with the operating partner to provide some type of service that's consistent with the vision that the council laid out there. So I don't know if anybody has a better term than the use of tenant. I'm happy to use it. Otherwise, understand when I say tenant, that's what it means. Okay, any questions on that right now? Okay, good. All right, so kind of the format for today's meeting. One is we want to confirm the process, and I've already done that, talking about the required letters of interest being submitted, the mandatory ones. What I want to do now is maybe by show of hands, how many different prospective operating partners are there? So Garth, is that all? So so Garth, are you leading your group?
I am.
Okay, so by show of hands, how many operating partners are in Garth's group? That's a lot. Okay, so there's one group. Is there anybody else that's a prospective operating partner that is not in that group? Or I heard outside that there may be some prospective operating partners that don't choose to speak today, and they kind of want to monitor the process, and that's fine. There's a couple, I see a couple on this side of the room, and that's fine. How we wanted to lay out the room, so this is the council chambers. We have the Carnation room behind us, and we have the Poinsettia room next door. If operating partners want to occupy one of those rooms, and then the tenants can just kind of mingle and go and talk. If you're a prospective operating partner and you want to occupy a certain space and have people mingle by your area, that's okay too. It was a bit difficult for the city to set up the meeting room because we didn't know what to expect, how many operating partners there would be, but Councilmember Schaefer coined the term speed dating. That's what this is like. The operating partners will sit at an area and the tenants will kind of just rotate through if they want to. And the whole purpose of that is to get together and see, is there some synergy between the operating partner and the tenants or service providers, artists, curators, whoever it may be. So we'll do that for, say, about an hour, and we'll gauge by time. If it seems like the conversations are dying, we'll end it early. If there's a lot of healthy conversation, then we'll let it go a little bit longer. And when that's all done, then we'll reconvene here, and we can answer any questions if there's anything that comes up as a part of that process. So before I ask Garth, and I guess just Garth maybe, to come up, are there any questions? All right, so Garth, if you want to come up and maybe give like a 3 to 5 minute overview of your guys' proposal, I'd appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Garth Murphy. I'm the leader by age, like I said, of our group, and I'm kind of a nervous speaker, so I had to bring a few props to remind me of this great speech that I have, which I would like to show you.
Garth, I don't think we can hear you.
Yeah, the mic. Bring your mic closer, please.
Hello?
That's
Okay.
better.
Yeah, Garth Murphy, leader by, I'm the elder statesman of our group. And I'm going to use a few props to remind me of things. Amen. So, you know that. That's very quick. So we're talking about a site that was called by Native Americans Hakuto, and they have been here for about 13,000 years estimate. And this is the only existing piece of art that actually depicts them. And it's part of why we have included ecology in our story, because good art really comes from a culture, and the culture is a product of its setting and its the natural and social ecosystems around it. So if you look at that picture, what you see are people not wearing too many clothes, which I think is one of the things that makes Encinitas very unique, because there are a few others, but basically if you go to Moonlight on a Sunday, you will see everybody wearing, in aggregate, less clothing than that, which is extremely unusual for the United States, where we wear what to most people are underclothes a lot of our life. So we're talking about a unique culture that we want to represent through this arts center that we're creating. The second picture, I'll go as quick as I can. These actually are 3 of the only depicted. We're talking about pre-photography. So they had it 13,000 years. The Spanish came and owned the place for 26 years, from 1822 until 1846. And there was this Spanish caballero culture. They wore a lot of clothes because they didn't want to be seen like the other people. The important thing to notice in that, again, the ecology, we don't see any trees. So this drought that we're now in is a normal thing that happens. And if you look around Encinitas, everything you see that's not that is something that takes a lot of water and has partly caused the drought. We're going through time. That's the city of this is the city of San Diego in 1850. And you can see that the river runs into the bay. There are 22 houses, each belonging to one of the ranchers that owned the large ranches around here, average size 55,000 acres. 2 of those ranches equals Camp Pendleton. And when a boat would come, they would get notice from their workers, who are all Indians, who had this way of communicating with people coming from up north, and they would ride to San Diego after they roped a bear, because their main sport was tying a bear to a bow by the front leg. And in that square, they would have them fight to the death to amuse the sailors that arrived. And they'd have a big ball and fiesta. So 33 years later, I'm just setting the scene. The old schoolhouse in Encinitas was built in that cultural milieu. And actually the San Diego Harbor, the jetties going to Mission Bay, which are right here now, was like in the 1920s. So we have Encinitas being formed as a town or city in 1883, and we have the schoolhouse, which I have as a card because this is kind of a trump card for us. And the people who own and operate are part of our group. Went in 1883 in that kind of a setting, and they had as one of their directives from the people who sent their children there that they had to teach them to grow food. So each child had a garden in which he worked some of the time. We then, the next building that exists now was built 70 years later in 1955, and it's got value to us as a building because it's the only thing that we actually have for those next 133 years till now. So our idea, and our primary idea, is to improve that building to the point where it's actually worth keeping whatever else ever went there. And that the principal building is these classrooms, which I'll put up. And our architect did this rendering of it. It's an international style building with one side that's almost completely glass. And of its type is the only one like that I know of in Encinitas. And we think it's worth keeping, fixing, and turning into arts showcases is what we're calling them. So our plan in general is to become the operating partner, to absorb or be absorbed by all the other operating partners, because we believe that this is a project that requires the support of the entire community. So that's been our goal from the beginning, was to bring everybody we can into it, including the artists. And our goal today is to meet more artists, because we've been concentrating more on people who can make that happen, like our architect, our builders, the whole group that we have. And that is naturally 6 classrooms that are 30 by 30, which is not much smaller than this room. They're actually quite large. Probably we'll make one that's 30 by 60 for bigger type events, but we're not sure yet. And those classrooms will be occupied. They won't be tenants in our plan, because nobody owns those, including us. These have to be shared by the arts community here. And it's a big arts community. It's going to require some diplomacy and a lot of sharing and basically cooperation, and a structure of operation that includes the city, who's really our muscle partner, and everybody else that's involved in it. So like I say, I'm not the leader. I'm more of a person who's connecting tissue for everybody else. And we believe in management that's really decentralized, that's everything connected, nothing disconnected, whole greater than sum of its parts. And we invite the participation of everybody in Encinitas. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Garth. So there's not too many people in this room to prevent it, so I'm going to ask that we pass around a cordless mic. So Samantha's going to pass along. If you can all just real quickly say who you are and why you're here. Just try to keep it short, and we'll go through this real quick, just so we get a sense of who's in the room today. And you get
Hi, I'm Deanne Sabeck, resident of Encinitas since 1990. I'm an artist, made my living my entire life as a professional artist, and I'm now on the Arts Commission and on the board of the Encinitas Friends of the Arts. So I know we want to be involved.
My name is Naomi Nussbaum. I'm a big supporter of the City of Encinitas Arts Department and Friends of the Arts. I run a non-profit arts organization called Synergy Art Foundation, and we are here to support any kind of arts activity growing in our county. Thank you.
And I'm Naomi Tanha. I'm one of the arts commissioners and the president of Encinitas Friends of the Arts. I'm here to support the partners, and in fact, I was going to come up and let everybody know that our role is to support the art organizations through fundraising and however we can support them to make sure they succeed.
Hi, my name is Neos. I'm part of the Circles Youth Academy for Life Training, and our focus is more education and youth in a holistic way through one of them is the arts, but there are other things that we focus on as well. I work with Chris and Ashley, one of them. They are working with the kids, so they can teach you.
Hi, my name is Jolie King. I'm an artist designer, and I'm organizing next year's Encinitas Foodie Fest. And I would love to see Pacific View become a reality, and for there to be a space for the arts in Encinitas, because I really feel that there isn't right now in terms of a studio performance space, classes. So I hope that Pacific View happens to fill that void. Thank you.
Hi, my name is James Garcia. I'm part of an organization called Moniker Group.
Ryan Sisson, founder of Moniker. One of the reasons why we're here, we run a community workspace in downtown San Diego that's a home to artists and makers and entrepreneurs and startups and community folks event space, and we're just here to learn more about Pacific View and see what the city's looking for and see if there's any partner with you guys.
My name is Rob Honer. I'm also here working with Moniker Group at this opportunity. My wife and I moved to Encinitas 2 years ago with our 3-year-old son and 1-year-old daughter, and we're calling Encinitas home. And I work for a real estate development company called Ambient Communities. Myself and I'm one of the principals. I have 2 partners. We used to work for the Porky McMillan companies, and we're very involved with the NTC public-private partnership between McMillan and the city of San Diego. And we heard about this opportunity. We just figured, let's come and hear more about it. This is my home. I plan for this Encinitas to be my home for a long time. Ryan and I have had a relationship as buddies for over a decade, so that would be a good way for us to align and see what opportunities there are here to get involved with this project.
Hi, my name is Angela Shivey. And I am an architect, and I solo practice in Encinitas. The reason I'm here is more like a resident, and maybe I'm surprised this is like an ongoing meeting, because I actually have a different idea, and I thought maybe we could just throw it out here and see what people think. And I'm afraid that everybody here is arts, but what I'm trying to propose would be recycling center, educating center for the city of Encinitas, because I don't think we have anything like that that could show how our materials go from cradle to grave, and how we should approach it conscientiously. And if we had the school converted into an interpretive center, something that is, we're not bringing trash there, but we are doing vignettes that would show how all the different types of wastes that we have move from one stage to the other, and how the city, how the citizens could approach it in a more conscientious way. So that's the reason why I'm here. And I don't have an operating partner, but maybe there would be somebody interested.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yes, my name is Glenn Johnson. I guess I represent more the practical arts thing. I have an interest in the maker movement, and if you don't know what it is, go to Balboa Park the first weekend of October. This is going to be a very, very interesting event for 2 days there. What I'm looking at is the possibility of having something that's some space where adults who are interested in practical arts, or building dragons, impractical arts counts too, and doing things that perhaps have a technological bent to them. So that's where I'm coming from. I have been a resident of Encinitas since it was incorporated. I'm a member of the Encinitas Historical Society, and I really support Garth.
Hi there, my name is Jax Myers. I'm the founder of Paint Encinitas, and I also am the Communications and Outreach Associate at Bleach Tag Foundation. I'm here today to support collaboration and community and see what different discussions are had in this particular workshop. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Teresa Barth, and I'm an interested party, to say the least. I was the mayor of the city of Encinitas when we bought Pacific View property, and I got signed a contract for $10 million. That was kind of a scary thing to do. I'm excited to see all of you here today. I'm just following on with this process. And I am also now involved with the Encinitas Friends of the Arts, and I just want to emphasize that we're here to collaborate with whatever collaborating partners do get the final agreement with the city, and we're ready to help in any way that we can. And it's exciting to see so many people here. Thanks.
Jeffrey Lautenschlager. I'm an artist, live in Encinitas, supporter of Pacific View. My particular expertise and interest is in public art. And over the span of years, I've tried to get some things going. And hopefully at this point in time, we will do that with installing some at least temporary large-scale sculpture to augment the active mural program we have going on. Thank you.
My name is Judy Montague. I'm a longtime resident here. I did the Sound Film Festival for a couple of years, and I run a nonprofit in where we read the original works of artists. I actually tried to save a midden in La Costa Canyon regarding the Indians that you're discussing, because I worked at the Field Museum and re-taxonomized the bivalve collection. This is a note to you guys, and there are a lot of implements still out there, stone implements, but we'll just do that another time. But I wanted to start a silent film club because I think it aligns with the triple sports, the sports triple X, whatever it's called, with the whole YouTube movement and Hulu and people getting online, because it's a young man's art. It's an art without words. It's a cheap art with new technology. It's inventing new art forms, and I'd like to align myself with the people that are making these films and get them back to a classical art form, which is silent film. Just like, TV came out of radio and vaudeville. The movies that they're putting on the internet, they came from silent film. I'd like to partner up with someone, and anyway, that's all.
Hi, I'm Lois Senrich, and I'm the founding director of Story Arts, and we specialize in collecting people's stories and passing them on. And our prize projects are community art projects, meaning we pull artists together to create a community project that also creates community in, at this point we're creating a Hidden Treasures project in Encinitas I'm all excited about. And I don't know about you, but being a part of the ongoing story of Pacific Beach, my heart is always pounding. I thought, okay, maybe we'll get this piece of land, maybe we won't. And the whole thing was just peaked, just totally peaked. I didn't know what was going to happen, couldn't sleep some nights. And then we come in here and I think, oh, we finally are seeing something on the screen, and I'm so excited. But again, my heart starts to pound. Like, this is such an important time in the arts community, and it's such an incredible story to be a part of, and I feel so honored to be here.
Our finance director had trouble sleeping some nights.
My name is David Pearl. My family moved here in '71. I went to school here. I went to San Diego, where I got hooked on ceramics. I now have an MFA in ceramics. I've taught at the community college for 14, 15 years. In the fall, I will start at Grossmont College. I'm eager to work and talk with the operating partners about what we could do and set up a community arts center. And I think this is, it's looking awesome so far. I'm I'm happy to be here and very happy that the city made this choice. I think in a few years they'll see that the price was nominal to what could be there. It had so much potential.
I'm Steve Garcia. I'm an Encinitas resident. I'm also a full-time faculty in fine arts at Grossmont College. I've been teaching 28 years. I've been certified from kindergarten through a major university. I've taught them all. I've built my own school. I've rebuilt several programs. I'm currently serving on the facilities committee, and I'm one of the point men on the rebuild for the entire fine arts department at Grossmont College. I'm really interested in this because community colleges are no longer being looked at as community. It's more of transfer units. Being a minority kid, the Art Center saved my life. So I'm interested in working on any level. I'm pretty knowledgeable on all things. I've owned my own school. I've owned my own gallery. I know how to, I've looked at the building. Me and David here both looked at it. We know how we could get that running on the lowest budget. And we know, and I've worked in places like Grossmont that are multi-million-dollar budgets. So the arts aren't that expensive to fund. Maybe some room repairs, but we can really get this going. It could be I've seen places in other cities become world-class destinations for the arts built over a few years. So I'm definitely interested on multi-levels on this project. Thank you.
One of my sons is a senior at San Marcos High, and he had never had an interest in arts, but he took a ceramics class at San Marcos High, and he was amazed. He was blown away with how fun and creative he could be, and he didn't know it. So it's pretty cool. And the stuff he brings home is amazing.
My name is Erin Wilson. I work with a company called Nino & Moore, and we are a geotechnical and environmental consulting firm. We're working with Westberg & White, the architect selected by the city. I spend a lot of time in Encinitas. I've been following the project with great interest, and I just think it's a great opportunity. I just wanted to stay in touch with the project. It's great to see all the collaboration.
Hello, I'm John D. Wall. I've been a resident of Encinitas since like 1988. I'm a local developer. I'm also the president currently of the Encinitas 101 Main Street Association. So I'm here both from the organization's perspective to keep an eye on things and understand how we can help. We're very interested in what happens there because it affects our downtown significantly. And as a developer that's been involved in various permutations of the Pacific View approach, I'm here to also see how I can help.
I'm Tom Cousins. I'm a resident and actually former student at Pacific View.
I'm Judy Bloom. I've lived in Encinitas since 1976. I taught elementary school here in Encinitas for 20 years. My favorite subjects to teach were art and music. I love all of the arts. 32 years ago, I helped to found the Coastal Communities Concert Band, which is an 80-piece concert band that rehearses right here at Oak Crest Middle School, but doesn't really have a place to perform. I'm a member of the Encinitas Friends of the Arts. I'm currently chairman of the Encinitas Arts Commission, and I just want to point out that on Saturday, the city and the Arts Commission and the Friends of the Arts sponsored the Epauletti Music Festival, which was 23 or so musicians from all over the world who performed here in the San Diego Academy Gymnasium to an audience of about 500. And we were wishing so much that we had a performing center for Encinitas. We have wonderful groups, arts all over the place, but there are wonderful musical groups too who need a place to perform. And so although we support all of the arts that are going on in the community wholeheartedly, we're hoping that in the long term you'll keep in mind that we need a performance hall for these wonderful groups that would entertain the community so well.
Hi, I'm Thora Guthrie. I'm the Executive Director of Encinitas 101 Main Street Association. I'm here to support this collaboration because I brought some of these people together and I'm so excited about the potential of Pacific View as an art center, as an artist, and as a leader downtown.
Hi, my name's Joy Lines. I'm a licensed landscape architect and I live in Encinitas.
And I have experience with the planning and design and oversight of construction of community parks and public spaces for over 30 years. And I'd like to bring that expertise to help create a really vibrant and interpretive outdoor space at Pacific View. But not only is it important to do a good design and a good plan and have it built well, I think it's important to have funding. And so I'm also representing a nonprofit that I run called Community Parks Alliance. And our objective is to seek funding for parks and the creation of outdoor spaces.
And she's also active in the Encinitas Historical Society. I'm Carolyn Cope, and I came here in 1950 when I was born. My folks moved here, they were immigrants in the 30s. I went to Pacific View for kindergarten myself, and all three of my children went through that school. My role in this is to maintain the health and well-being of our beloved 1883 schoolhouse. We have worked tirelessly over many decades now to improve it, to maintain it, to offer more services to the community, have it open more often to the community. It's the only viable building now on Pacific View. So what happens on the campus, it will affect us. So we want to be part of this. We want to be inclusive in whatever plans come forward, especially in the area of historical planting, education of planting, starting from when the Indians first came here, all the way through the horticulture periods, through the Japanese garden idea that we had. So we can still maintain that role of education, historical education for everybody. And you know, we do, Judy, we do silent film festivals at the schoolhouse because Bessie Love, who was a silent film star, lived here in Encinitas. I'm stoked with what's going on. I just have to maintain the integrity of our schoolhouse, and I hope you all will too.
Okay, one thing, I think the city sees the 1883 schoolhouse being a more prominent piece of the property. Right now it's separated by a fence. It doesn't feel like it's quite part of the same property, and I think that will change as we move forward.
Danny Salzhandler, and I was also born in 1950, a few months before Carolyn, but in Houston. And I'm with the 101 Artist Colony Arts Alive Foundation, and I'm ready to start digging in the dirt and painting the walls.
Yep. I'm Kay Colvin. I've lived in and around Encinitas since 1982. I'm a gallery director and am all about collaboration and supporting the local arts community.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Michelle. I'm a neighbor to Pacific View, and I've been very inspired to see what the groups have been up to. My friends and I thought we were going to have to take this whole project on by ourselves to see that something would happen, and I'm very proud to see everyone come together to support the arts. And so now we're just seeing how we can help and support. We belong to a few groups that support the fourth sector, the for-benefit movements, and are interested in making Encinitas into a beautiful, even more beautiful place to be in the years to come. And also, I specialize in corporate development, so I've been asked to come in and take a look at how we can support some of the revenue initiatives of the project, if we can be of help with that at all. We also have some funding sources, so, but just say I'm very excited to see all the arts being supported here today. It's very beautiful.
Thanks. I'm Doug Murphy. I'm just going to add a little of my own bio. I actually make my living restoring old structures, and I live in the second oldest building in town, the 1887 Derby House, which has been a long project, almost 40 years. And to me, my interest in the beginning was in restoration of that sort of forlorn building that actually could be a beautiful part of the town. And I actually have gotten to know almost most of the people I know in this room, from except one, through this project, and it's been a really encouraging and inspiring process meeting them. I consider them all to be points of light in this little constellation we're going to create. Thank you.
I am Steve Baralotti, and I'm a filmmaker and former editor of Surfer Magazine. And I edit a lot of Garth's copy. And I moved here in 1991, so by standards of most people in this room, I'm just sort of a blow-in. But I really love living here. Because I'm a surfer, and this is a surf town. And I don't know if you know it, but Garth was part of a group that manufactured the first commercial surf wax in the world back in 1964. So, I mean, there are some deep roots here. Anyway, when this came up, I kind of thought it was a foregone conclusion that the land would end up going to development for more homes and condos and mixed development. And when the city stepped up, thank you, Teresa, and bought it in the last hour, thanks to Scott's video. Thank you, Scott. It really provoked a change in me that there was some hope. Because having lived here and seen some of the past developments that have gone down, well, I won't get into it. Anyway, yeah, it hurt. So this is a chance. I think we're at a tipping point right now, and this is a chance for us to do something really special, world-class, something that's going to lift the entire community and make it an even more special place to live. So, peace be with you.
Very good. I'm Wilson Bullard. I am here out of shameless self-interest. In as much as I am on the alley directly across, I live on the bluff, in a little casita directly across from the old schoolhouse there. And on that property, my daughter learned to ride a bicycle, and we played ball, we played whatever. She also, her thank the city note on .org, if you will, was the one that was picked out as exemplary, which was maybe 5 hours after she gave birth to my granddaughter. So she is very interested in this. I'm very interested in just this being consistent with the spirit of Encinitas and the environment that it's in, and really take it forward in a way that benefits all parties near and far. Thank you.
He's a good neighbor, too.
Before the next speaker starts, one thing I neglected to say is that one of our primary goals is to develop something that's compatible with the adjoining neighborhood. Because we realize there's neighbors that surround the whole property, so anything we do has to be respectful and be a good neighbor with those that are already in place. So.
Hi, I'm Drew Hubble. I'm an architect with Hubble & Hubble Architects. We have expertise in preservation, collaboration with artists. My father's James Hubble, artist, and also in sustainability. We had worked on a previous project creating a performing arts center when they were trying to, it was a nonprofit trying to buy the property from the school district at that time. Working with Garth's group, we've created a couple of the elevations for the project. And also my parents 30 years started a nonprofit, Elon Leal Foundation, which the sole purpose is supporting the artists in San Diego County. And so I'm on the board of that foundation, and our director lives here in Encinitas.
I'm Jessica Toth. I'm the director of the Solana Center for Environmental Innovation. We've been housed in Encinitas for over 25 years now. We will be moving, and we've lost our lease with the county, so we would love to be part of this project, either physically located there or to have some involvement, because I think our impact on the community for environmental education and outreach is very important, so we'd love to remain a part of the community. So along the lines of being able to provide, we've been pushing since the beginning of this project to have an ecology-themed center there, not distinct from the arts aspect of it, but that we don't want to lose that aspect. Thank you.
My name is Kathleen McMillan Lees. I live in Leucadia. I've lived in Encinitas since 1974. Various communities. The only community I haven't lived in is Leavenworth. And I grew up in Los Angeles, where there used to be a lot of cute little beach towns, and they're all gone. They've all turned into concrete jungles. So when I had been living in Colorado, and while I was there, my family all moved to San Diego. So I came down here and started looking around, and the only place I wanted to live, and I can't tell you why, was Encinitas. And I think we all have the same, well, except for people who were born here. We all have that same experience. You don't know why you want to live here, but you do. And I think that coming together and buying this schoolhouse is one of the reasons why. I think it's a diagram of why we live here, even if it doesn't give us a complete answer. Why it calls, world-class artists like Ian and Richard to be here. Jeffrey, I'm sorry. Looking right at you, saying the wrong name. And they're not the only ones who are here. And when we have this center, there will come more out of the woodwork. So, congratulations, all of you.
My name is Ashley Mazanik. I am a native to Encinitas, musician, environmental activist, and also student at UCSD, Master's in Environmental Policy. I'm particularly excited about this project because of the intention to incorporate the arts and ecology and sustainability. I'm really concerned about the future of our environment, and to incorporate that into a wider cultural intention, I think is a huge part of the solution going forward.
Hi, I'm Linda Bergen. My husband and I moved here in 1980, and I certainly support what Ashley is saying. I think that we have an opportunity with the Pacific View site to create a model for other cities that envelops the history of the city, the beauty of the land, the environment and maintaining it, along with performing arts, ceramic arts, all kinds of arts, and music. I think it's very important, and I think we have, thanks to the council, the opportunity to do something great. There. Oh, sorry.
Hi, my name is John Humphrey. I guess I would have probably been, a month or two ago, I probably would have been an operating partner sitting over here with the group of people that I work with. I work with a lot of artists and musicians in town. I'm an entrepreneur. We moved here, my dad had a greenhouse here in the 70s, so I've been a part of this town since then. I work with the guys in the band Switchfoot, and I've been visiting with Tom DeLong, some of the kind of more musicians and artist people that have kind of grown up in this area. Recently, I met Garth. I haven't known him forever, and I loved his whole group and his whole vibe, and I think what we decided was our kind of group, kind of representing a younger bunch of entrepreneurs and musicians in this town, partnering up kind of with Garth and a lot of his connections with this town. We just loved his vibe. I'm a surfer. I've started action sports companies, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I think my main emphasis is trying to come together. Kind of my past has been working with artistic people to really put together a fiscally responsible plan. So as I saw the city purchase this property, and I saw sort of a divisiveness happen, people are going, oh, we shouldn't pay, we should. I think our goal is just to come and make it an absolute 100%. It was the best decision the city ever made. And I think by partnering with everybody in this room that comes with their part, I think we can do that. So I'm really excited to bring all my resources and all my friends and kind of get together with this group and really create something great. So that's why I'm here.
I'm Scott Chatfield. I started SavePacificView.org when I had a weird dream at 3 in the morning, and I saw condos there, and I went, no way. And so it kind of started a little bit of a landslide, which Teresa and Tony got involved with and the city got involved with, and it's just been a wonderful dream since then. And this is just amazing right here.
Scott didn't say something. Well, thank you all. I appreciate that. I think it's helpful for everybody to know who's in the room and kind of where they fall and what interest they have in the property. Is there anybody else who didn't get a chance to introduce themselves that would like to? Did any of the other potential or prospective operating partners get inspired? Did they want to come up and say anything? Okay. Well, before we break off and go into the adjoining room, I do want to point out some of the staff members. Again, I'm Glenn Perome, Director of Public Works. This is Ed Dean back here. Ed heads up our engineering group. On the side, way in the back, is Jim Gilliam. I think you all know Jim if you're involved in the arts community. Greg Shields is next to him in the back, and Greg works with Ed and myself on the engineering side. And this is Carrie Kuziak, who's with the planning department. And in the back of the room is Samantha Morrow, who helped us put all of this together. So let's give Samantha. So it takes a lot of effort and work to put something like this together, so I do appreciate it. Way in the back is Bryce Wilson. He's in the engineering group. And I don't know the rest of them. All right, so maybe we can take a quick break and everyone get up and stretch their legs. And when we reconvene, I would ask that Garth's group set up in the poinsettia room. And all of you who want to walk by and talk with Garth's group, feel free to do so. If there's any other operating partners that want their own dedicated space, come see me during maybe a 5 or 10 minute break. We'll try to set you up as well. All right, thanks. The letters of interest are due. We will have a staff committee get together and look at those, and then we will share the results of that with the council subcommittee. And a lot of it will depend on the quantity and quality of the proposals that we get. If we only get one, we won't go through a formal RFP process. If we get multiple, we may go through a more formal proposal process. So the short answer is we don't know, but we'll try to do it as expeditiously as possible.
Question?
Yes, sir.
EIR required?
I'm going to look to Carrie, but I don't believe there's going to be any EIR required. There's certainly some.
Really?
Well, I'll ask Carrie.
Environmental review required is going to depend on the proposal that we get. Wouldn't anticipate, given the council direction that I've heard on this, that something that would fit within the existing zoning parameters and we would use the existing building, I would not anticipate would require the level of review of EIR.
So in the presentation, I mentioned an interim use, and there may be some long-term ultimate use out in the future. That may require an EIR. If we were to go ahead and scrape the whole site and build some different, bigger structure, that may require a more significant environmental review process.
Substantially different from what it is.
Correct. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is there an opportunity to have the city continue to be involved in terms of the operating expenses? Or are you really hoping to find a tenant who pays rent and can take over the, I guess, running every aspect of, and including developing our own revenue stream right away?
Do I need this microphone, or can you all hear me?
No.
Okay, if you can hear me, I won't use it. It's certainly the city's preference to continue to fund the operations of Pacific View. The conversations that have taken place both at the subcommittee and the council level is that the city invested quite a bit of money in this, and anything we can do to develop a partnership or going forward, the operating partner assumes those costs, that's preferable. It wasn't an absolute edict or mandate, but as we evaluate the proposals, the financial relationship would be one of the aspects of the proposal. In all of the things being equal, it would be easier for the city to select an operating partner that was going to provide funding than one that was not. But things are never equal in other aspects, so it's always very complicated. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know what kind of costs is the city anticipating for operating the facility?
Yeah, we haven't done any of that because we don't know what it is yet. You know, the it is kind of what we're trying to figure out through this process. The city, we know what we spent on it to buy it. We know what some of the ongoing maintenance costs have been, and we're happy to share those costs. But in terms of upgrading the facility to whatever it's going to be and then continuing to operate that facility, you know, if you have just more of a passive use, it may be one set of operating costs, but if you have like kilns and things to do pottery, it could be more expensive in terms of electrical costs and gas costs. So we don't have any specific information. Anything else? Okay, so the whole purpose of this was to try to get the operating partner and the tenants or service providers together. I hope it was helpful from that perspective. Just a reminder that the LOIs, the letters of interest, are due on August 3rd, and they are mandatory. And I kind of mentioned the process we'll go through after that. The subcommittee will be making a recommendation to the City Council. The Council will make the ultimate determination of who the operating partner will be. And after an operating partner is selected, there will be an operating agreement between the city and the operating partner. And that'll obviously take some time to negotiate a proper operating agreement. And I kind of touched on this just a while ago, but the council has not authorized the expenditure of any additional funds, but have not specifically precluded it. So with that, I think that's all that we had. Again, you're welcome to stay in this room until 1 o'clock if you'd like. And thank you all for coming out today. Appreciate it.